Yeah, what's good, man? You're now tuned in to GSNJ Radio. I'm your boy, Prevail the MC, better known as Pastor P. And we're back again. This is the voice of reason for a reason. Let's not forget that we are a platform for reconciliation. I just have to keep putting that out there that
Most
we
definitely.
still do that. You know, if you're having a problem with a significant other, if you're
We
having a
do
problem
that.
with your brother, you're having a problem,
We can
whatever.
help you.
You know,
can
we can
definitely
bring
help
that in
you.
here and we can still squash that. Because a lot of people thought that we kind of completely tossed that out the way. No, we're still that platform to do
Most
that.
definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm the bull, Prevail the MC, Pastor P, and this is my man.
It's your boy Mike J. And then we also got in the building our guest, Les Squair. Go ahead.
What's going on? What's going on, fellas?
Well, anyway, man, this is my man Les Squair Jr. and he is in the building, and he has a thing called hashtag 1,000 brands. And what I want to say about that is, man, I've watched you, Les, do so many different things to lead you up to this point, and I'm still excited to ask you, like, what made you really say, through everything else that you've been through, that you wanted to focus on just this thing called 1,000 brands.
Man, you know I've been through a lot.
Yeah,
I've been
most
through a
definitely.
lot, man. I've been doing a lot of different things in the community. But the reality is I started with the youth. You know what I mean? And I still stick with the youth. It started speaking, to the youth and developing a message that came from a story of my life. You know what I mean? It was a time where I was inconsistent. You know what I mean? I was around a lot of inconsistency, and it became a part of my life.
Right.
And I got sick and tired of losing. So I was like, look, man, I got to stay consistent. And as I started to stay consistent, I came up with whatever I start, I'm going to finish from this point on. And life has been a lot different since that time. So I felt like I need to share that message with a lot of other people. And I remember talking to this young boy, and it connected with him. And he asked me if his friend could, if he could bring a friend. And that friend brought another friend. And we ended up having a mentorship program over 30 young men. And that went on for about 7 years. And over time, starting my mentorship program, we ended up opening it as a nonprofit. And I got caught up because I was doing a lot of things on my own, trying to learn everything. And most of my energy went into the nonprofit. And, I kind of lost the passion for, or didn't have much time for the young men. So it kind of died out and diluted my message. And I didn't really like that.
Right.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure I can reach out to more young people, reach out to the community more. So I realized that if I can help other people do what I did, because the transition that I made was, instead of me just develop my own mentorship program, I'm going to take those same skill sets, develop curriculum, and go into the schools. Now I'm being compensated for, developing my own curriculum and programs, helping out the youth and the staff in the schools. And I ended up developing a brand through that, which was called Never Quit. And a lot of people was coming to me like, yo, how did you start that? How you start getting into school, speaking to the youth? How did you start getting paid for what you do? And I was just like, look, I just developed a brand. And they was like, yo, can you help me with that? So I started helping people develop their brands. And over time, man, it just got so exciting to just help people develop these same things. Now, here's the thing. The 1,000 brands came into play because I was like, look, I might not be able to help everybody. But if I can help Mike, if I can help P, if I can help y'all develop your brand and reach more people, then I can indirectly help 1,000 brands.
Right.
So I'm really, on this thing about helping 1,000 brands. And it's not just the brand, it's the person behind the brand. You know what I mean? It's the people that's gonna be impacted by the brand.
And so
you know what I'm saying?
you had a function yesterday where you were speaking on the brand. And what really got me is how you said that you was going to function this 1,000 brands into a community.
Right.
A community of people that would work together.
Yeah.
And that's what stuck with me, because now not only are you helping one person build a brand, but that one person is helping that person build a brand, and that person is helping that person build a brand. And I was like, look, even me with my book, I want to be a part of that brand.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I seen what you was doing, and I realized what you were doing was that beneficial, that I needed to be a part in that brand, that building. So I approached you, as you know, and said, yo, what do I need to do to be a part of this branding?
Right.
Because I think that it needs to be done. So can you tell me a little bit more about the community and why you said you were going to build this community inside the brands?
Well, I would say over the last 3 years, man, I've been a part of a couple different communities, and when I mean community, there's a couple different, meanings to this, and you got the physical community, you know what I mean, your neighborhood and the schools, districts, and things like that, and the people that live within it, and then you also have this new online platform where people created online communities, and people from all over the world are able to connect. And as I started to learn more about that, I started to get more involved. And some people, just like you know what I mean, just like me, have a skill set, some information that we're sharing with other people. And because they need those skills or they need that information, they grasp it and then they start to produce it, and then they get their own value, and then they can produce it in their own community. So what I wanted to do is build, this same concept around the branding, the 1,000 brands. Because if I can help 1,000 people, right, then indirectly we'll help even more. You know what I mean? Like the vision is just starting with the 1,000. You know what I mean? But the reality is it's going to touch a lot more people. And that all came from, my heart for the community, my heart for the youth. Always being, I've always been in the community for years, man. Feeding the homeless, having events, game nights, all types of stuff we were doing for the community, man. So that's really what it's about.
So what can we expect out of the community if you're trying to build a brand? If I came to you with a
Oh
with a
yeah,
brand,
yeah,
what
yeah.
Can we expect out of that community?
All right, so this community is great, man, because we have 3 aspects to it. So and I thought about this for a long time. Execution,
Okay. Execution.
right?
Right.
Building your brand,
Okay.
and then generating revenue.
Okay.
And I set it up like that is because what I realized is the information that is at an all-time high. Right. You're on social media, you going to all these different programs. We all getting a lot of information, but we ain't executing on it. So what happens is we become full-time consumers and part-time producers.
Right.
And what that means is we become constipated with so much information and value, but we ain't producing nothing. So you constipated. You don't know what to do. Right. As soon as you get the information, you got to execute it on it right away so that, you can produce. You know what I mean? So execution is key. Then the second piece is building a brand. You know what I mean? I'm going to show people step by step how to build their brands, starting with their core values.
Okay. That's a question I wanted to ask you too when you do that. Are you doing one-to-ones with helping people build their brands? Like, are they coming to you and you're just sitting there directly having a one-to-one? Or is it always going to be more of a meeting and a gathering amongst the community for people to build the brand? Are you doing one-to-ones?
Now, that's a great question. So twice a week we come together. Now, the platform is we do it online because you got people from all around, right?
Right.
But then throughout the week, you can schedule a personal session with me, and we do one-on-one. So it's both. We could do group, and then you also have access to my schedule. We do one-on-one, and I'm gonna help you step by step building that brand.
Now, in that, are you looking for people in your community? Like, you're helping people build brands. Now, with helping people build brands, are you going to have people helping, say, like my social media page? Or would you have people helping to promote that social media page, or is that left on the person that's trying to build the brand?
So the person that's building a brand actually has to execute, right?
Okay.
But I'm teaching you throughout the whole way, and the thing about it is because we have a community, you'll have that network of people that'll help. You know what I'm saying? So if you're trying to promote the radio show, I'm going to promote it, you in the community. Right. And now you got a group of people that's also going to promote it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So the information that I'm giving, you definitely got, you got to produce on it. Right. You know what I mean? But basically, once you get that information, right. I mean, we in business. People, I mean, you look, man, and that's why that last step is generating revenue, because everybody want to generate revenue, but nobody want to execute.
Nobody wants to do the work.
Right. Nobody want to do the work. So here's the reality. I'm gonna show you how to develop and how to produce, right? How to execute effectively. So you're not like me when you got 500 things going, and you got a lot of what they say. A lot of pans on the fire, right? Okay. You throwing a bunch of spaghetti noodles at the wall, hoping that something stick. Like, you got to focus on one thing long enough for it to work out for you. And, that's what I'm teaching people. Focusing on that one thing, executing. We're going to build your brand, and then we're going to show you how to generate revenue. We're going to show you how to generate revenue.
That's That's dope.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've watched you, Les, doing a lot of different things, man. Let's even go back. I just want to know more about you and your situation before
Yeah.
even the branding. I always wanted to know what made you want to be a lifeguard, Les. Like, that's just the question.
Oh,
I'm taking it
man.
back to that.
You taking
Like,
it back. That's 15 years ago.
Yeah, like, but because in your thing yesterday, I watched you like around the people. Looked like you were saving one of them guys that was drowning and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, it take a lot of heart and a lot of
does.
determination. Like, I mean, like, what made you really want to do that? Was it about the paycheck, or did you enjoy the actual job of it?
Nah, man, I love that job, man. I mean, I've been doing it for 15 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
Every summer when that paperwork come back, sometimes I'm like, maybe not, but I end up always going back. You know, I started, you know, I started swimming when I was like, I think 12. You know what I mean? And it's crazy how it started because I was in 8th grade, right? Or no, I think I was in 7th grade. I was in 7th grade, and this guy at gym class threw some money in the pool. He threw some money in the pool and was like, "Who want to jump?" And 12 feet, and everybody was like, "I ain't jumping in." I just jumped in. Right. I went down, I got the money, I came back up. He was like, "Yo, you gonna be on the swim team." And then that was it. Yeah, that was it. So then he taught us how to swim, man. And after we, you know, started swimming competitively, we ended up, you know, becoming really good. I represented the country in swimming. You know, I was in this Splash magazine, which is kind of like the Sports Illustrated for like basketball. It was pretty dope, and I ended up building my my repertoire for swimming, and they called me to do a ocean swim. I ended up doing an ocean swim, and then they recruited me for the Beach Patrol.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there just to say, man, I've watched you do a lot of different things. It's not just you branding. I've watched you come up from that to, you know, but then I seen you every summer in that training. Like, I seen you in train mode, and I was like, yo, I wonder what does it actually take to be a lifeguard? Because you look like you was training your tail off.
Yeah.
You know, like.
It's a different type of training. You know what I mean? I mean, you swimming in the ocean. It's not the pool. You know what I mean? When people say lifeguard, they think it's the pool. Now I'm in the ocean. You know what I mean? Think about the waves, the rip current, things like that, and you trying to pull people that's bigger than you out of the water. Like, it's rough. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a job that you really gotta be fit for. You
think you're going back this summer?
I don't know, man. This branding thing is kicking off, bro.
It's
kicking off.
That's what's up.
So you found your niche. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So you went from that to young men. Now, do you think you're going to get back to the young men situation, or is that?
I don't think I'm ever going to leave, man. I'm always been a part of the youth, but the young men that used to be a part of that program, we still keep in contact. You know what I mean?
But I mean for the new generation.
The new generation. Oh yeah, definitely, man. I'm still in the schools today. You know what I mean? I'm still in the schools. What I'm gonna do is I just gotta give a quick shout out to Brenda Phillips. She's like the female version of me when it comes to what I do as far as speaking. Right. And you know, developing curriculum for the school districts. Okay. We partnered up so that we can do a you know, a program, because she was doing primarily the females, and I was doing the guys. So we decided to collaborate because she's been doing it for some time. And for me, because my focus now is branding, I really want to make sure that I can give all of my resources, my time, my skill set to what she's doing. And we just collaborated. So we're going to be working together. And anybody else that has, look, I'm looking forward to Voice of Reason being a part of it. You know what I mean? Everything that y'all got going on.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely want to be a part of that. But I guess, man, I just want to congratulate you for finally finding the niche, because I just watched you do a lot of different things from Never Quit.
Yeah.
Like, what influenced that in you to even do that? Like, was that just a part of your life where you felt like maybe you was ready to quit on things, and you heard a trigger in your brain like, I can't, like, never, because there's always something behind something that keeps a person focused.
So the real story is this, man. I was sitting at a dinner table, you know, with a bunch of family, and I just got frustrated. Like, something clicked with me, and I snapped. Because I had some of my older family members was telling me I shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. I could have did this, I could have did that. I used to do this, I used to do that. But it was a bunch of woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff, and I just snapped. And I just got sick and tired of hearing people say that I could have did this, I could have been that, I could have been this. And I just said, I'm not going to be that woulda, shoulda, coulda person.
Right.
I'm going to break this mold right now. I'm going to break this chain right now, and I'm going to stay consistent and see this thing all the way through. Now, it took me some time because I had to find a couple different, you know, avenues, but all of those things was a journey, was a process that helped me build character. It helped me build the skill set that I have now.
And you had people in there that helped you build more character because
Oh,
yesterday
man.
you was talking about a lady that made you buy outside of
Oh,
your
yeah.
colors and everything that you had. So she was pushing you to go to next levels even in Never Quit, huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I look at that and I'm like, man, he had Never Quit. And I watched that too. I watched it expand. I watched it go from like 2 people to 3 people to 5 people. The next thing you know, y'all was at like a bowling alley and everybody had on Never Quit shirts.
Yeah.
And I was like, look at that. Like, it just blew up like, boom.
Yo, we had college teens wearing our shirts. We had models wearing it. Like it really. I mean, and it still exists.
And it was
still
something simple,
exists,
just an N-E.
bro. It was
And-
simple.
and I was
it was
like,
simple.
that's simple.
It's
But
simple.
it won.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
but you, like you said,
yeah.
you built a brand in that Never Quit. And I think
Exactly.
it's going to forever be there. So
Oh man, that's one of my core values, man. That's my core value. Never quit. It'll always live with me. Even with this branding thing, it's wrapped in never quit.
So elaborate on the core values that you was talking about.
Oh, yesterday, man. So everybody has core values. Everybody has things that are really important to them, right? It really helps them make decisions. You know what I mean? Whenever something comes up, you got an idea, somebody approaches you with something, there's a lineage of core values that goes through your head before you make that decision. That's why a lot of times before you make a decision and you know it's wrong, you like, no, I probably shouldn't do this, but you go through it anyway, and guess what? You feel bad after. Why? Because you went against your core values.
Right.
So when you have your core values, it sets up a stage where you're like, look, I'm going to stay consistent with what's important right here.
Right.
Which is my core, what's important to me. So, and what's important to me is my family, my faith, building wealth, relationship, community. So when you see consistency, so when you see all these things, you can look on my social media. You can see me right now. You can see however I move. Right. You'll see everything that I just shared with you in my movement.
All lines up.
Exactly. You'll see my faith walk. You'll see my family. You'll see community. You'll see the youth. You'll see collaboration. You'll see that because that's who I am. That's what I'm about. And anything that's not within that, it doesn't come through my lineage.
That's what we were talking about yesterday, because that seems like that was what was important to both of us. Because
right.
You remember my saying, you pulled it out of me, because I was like, man, I don't got nothing. No, just y'all family business. Me,
and that's
you was
it.
like, that's it.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, yes, I don't got no core. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I said, I'm just y'all family business. Me, he like, that's it.
That's
I'm
it.
like,
that makes
that
sense.
whole time I
Right.
got a core,
Right.
and I'm not even paying attention
Exactly.
to the core. So it was like you made me dawn
Yeah.
on what it is. Like,
and it's about being intentional about it. Because now that you know, when you make decisions, it's like, all right, does it satisfy y'all?
Yeah.
Does it satisfy family?
Yeah.
Does it satisfy me?
Yeah.
Then cool, I can roll with it.
I
But
can
if
roll
it
with
doesn't, I can't rock with it.
Right.
Right.
And that's the most important, because I say,
definitely.
look, if it ain't gonna help me,
Right.
it's only gonna hurt me. I gotta let it go.
Right.
So,
And we not young no more, so we can't make we
definitely
can't
not.
make
Can't make no
the
more
mistakes
mistakes.
no more like that.
I want to touch on one more thing. What do you have next going for you? I know you said you had a speaking.
Yeah, speaking engagement coming up sometime next week. But what's really big for me is this community. I'm gonna keep doing that build brand value event. We got one coming up in April, so I look forward to having people come out, teaching them about the real essence of branding, not just a logo, not just the design, but the full experience that you're bringing to people. You know what I mean? Okay. It's important. People trying to do business, right, with businesses, but the reality is you're doing business with people.
Right.
People are the ones that make the business.
Right.
You know what I mean? So people try to separate themselves from it, but the reality is you are the business, you are the brand. So we just got to be conscious and aware of that, and I just want people to really add as much value as they possibly can, but doing it in their authentic self. And that's why I say having them core values are important, because if you don't got them, you trying to portray and be something that you're not. And I want people to show up flat-footed as the authentic them, the authentic you, because you can keep that going. Right. You trying to be like somebody else, you ain't gonna be able to keep that going for long. And then you're gonna be exposed because people gonna see it and they're gonna be like, look, they're gonna call you out on it. So, you know what I mean? I want people to show up. So the event in April, and then the community, helping people build 1,000 brands, man. Look, if you're a brand that need help, if you're a business that need help, if you're a person that is looking to build, your skill set, I'm here for you.
1,000 brands. 1,000 brands.
1,000 brands.
And so, is that 1,000 brands, that just sticks like, it's crazy in my head. Like, do you plan on having 1,000 particular people that you build, or is it just 1,000 brands, like I'm a part of it and I bring somebody in.
No. I'm touching 1,000 brands personally. Personally, I'm touching personally, I'm touching 1,000 brands this in some kind of way. Whether I've done, whether you sit on a 30-minute consultation with me, whether we, one-on-one, whether I'm doing a logo, a brand for you, whether look, bro, I'm here for it. That's all bro. You know I got them shoes. I've been doing it for years. I've been doing it for years. See, here's the thing about it. Like I tracked it. You know what I mean? And that's all about the execution. You know what I mean? I made sure that I know exactly what I need to touch each month. I know what I need to touch every single day. So I'm on the phone all day. You know what I mean? Before I got here, I was on the phone with somebody talking to them about their brand. So I'm on it. I'm helping my daughter with her brand. She wants to start a little YouTube page for bacon. So we let her cook this morning. I recorded it. Nice. You know what I mean? So I'm constantly in this branding segment.
That's another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, the monetizing. Mm-hmm. That's very important, right?
Absolutely.
But a lot of people don't really know how to monetize. Like, when are you going to set up something to teach these people how to really monetize to make some money off of their situation?
But that's what the community is all about. That's the third segment in that group with generating revenue. Because I want people to understand that, look, you in business, right? You in business to make money. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to do something on a social cause. You know what I mean? You start a nonprofit. But if you're in business trying to develop a brand, you're trying to make money, like you have to understand that you got to put yourself out there in a way where you're the most popular in your industry so that people come to you. You're preferred. Like my mom, when I go to the supermarket and she asks for ginger ale, she don't want Canada Dry. She wants Seagram's. Right. That's brand loyalty. She's loyal to that brand. Right. I don't taste the difference, but that's her thing. You got to be the one in your industry that people call on. Like when you think of a radio show, you want to think about y'all. Right. Most you know what I mean? When people think about branding, I want them to think about Les Squire Jr. 1,000 brands. My sister called me Mr. 1,000 Brands yesterday. I think I'm gonna roll with that.
Mr. 1,000 Brands.
I think I'm gonna roll with that. I think I'm gonna roll with that. I think I'm gonna roll with that.
I was pretty stuck on how you was teaching about how Les Brown brought in so much revenue off of just the monetizing.
Yo,
and it stung me because I'm like, how did he really? Now I want to be focused in on that same particular.
I didn't even know when I've been speaking since I was 11. You know what I mean? I was speaking in the church and things like that. And what happened was, I didn't know that you can get paid for it. And I just heard this video one day, him saying that he heard Jim Rohn speaking, Zig Ziglar, and he heard that they got paid $10,000 for like an hour. And then he was like, yo, I think I can do that too. And he ended up doing it. And I was like, bet. I can do that too because I've been speaking. Right. So I'm going to use my gift and I'm going to monetize it. So the way I monetize it was I just start speaking and I just continue to speak and I start developing my skill set, talking about different things, finding out the different current events and the different problems in the world, in my community. And I was talking on them. And then one day I got paid $75. And I was like, ooh, that's it. That's it. Like that was the first. I was excited about that 75, bro. You know what I mean? 75. I know 75 ain't a lot now. But I was like, ooh. You know what I mean? And I saw so much upside from that because I probably spoke about 300 times before I got $75. And that's the problem. People quit before they even get that opportunity, man. I told people yesterday, you got to monetize free. Mm-hmm. You got to monetize free. Mm-hmm. Like when I go into a school, I'll speak for free. I speak for now. Some people they ain't gonna speak for free in my industry. They ain't gonna speak for free. They gonna go in there and my price is this, and if they can't pay, they're like, all right, well I can't do it. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna come in for free. But what I'm gonna do? I build such a brand that I'm gonna give you my proposal for my workshop. My workshop about 2-3 days for your kids. Or I'm going to show you my program that might last about 2 weeks to 8 weeks. Right. And I'm going to say, if you like what I do, then you'll invest. So I go speak and I kill it. Right. Kids going crazy. Staff like, oh my gosh, you really empowered me. We just hired you for the kids. Right. And then they're like, all right, we going to bring you in. I monetized free. I went in there for free. People miss opportunities because they won't be paid for everything. You ain't putting no work in. That's right. You gotta put the work in first. That's good. And then you can you know what I mean? Then you can monetize it. So I'm trying to teach people that, man, because everybody trying to get paid for everything. The reality is sometimes you just gotta put in that work and it'll come through for you. It will. And it takes some time, but it'll happen. It happened for me.
What do you see happening with 1,000 brands? Do you see it actually going higher, like a corporate level with, around a round table with other people getting involved in it more than just you personally? Do you see?
Yeah, yeah. So my plan is to take it on a corporate level. I got a little taste of going in corporate. I was speaking to a bunch of staff, teaching them or training them how to teach our kids, man. Because some of these teachers sometimes are they're doing it for the money, or they're in it because they thought that it wasn't going to be that much work. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of work. And, I'm training the teachers how to teach our kids. And then it turned into where, like, I felt comfortable enough to teach adults. And I got a little taste of being in a corporate setting. So eventually, this 1,000 brands is going to turn into me going on the corporate level, teaching or training employees how to be brand ambassadors for their companies.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So, if you work for Wawa, I'm going to go in there and talk to your employees and show them how to be the best Wawa employees. Like when somebody walk in the door, there should be somebody there with great customer service. Like, hey, how you doing? Make people feel good. It's all about the experience. People talk about branding like just a logo. I laugh at people when oh, look at my logo. I'm branding. Like, nah, you got a nice design, but what type of experience you bringing to me?
Right.
What type of value you adding to my life? If you're not, then I can't rock with you because I'm not going to spend my hard-earned money on you.
That's good.
Can you remember the exact 5 words, the AIOU that you spoke about?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can you bring that back to my attention before we end, because that was dope.
All right.
How you put that together.
So when it comes to core values, it's important to understand them because, again, it'll help you make decisions. So what I did was, the branding side of me, you got to make things memorable for people. You know what I mean? You got to make it real simple. So I created the core values AEIOU, sometimes Y. Right, we all know that as kids, right? Y'all remember that AEIOU, sometimes Y, right? So the vowels. So what I did was I looked at some of the core values that I had, which A stood for advantage, E stood for exposure, I for impact, O for options, U for understanding, and then Y had 2 meanings. Y had Y for yes sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir is in mannerism. And then, yes, sir, like how we used to call each other in the hood. Like when we speak, calling somebody on the street, like, yo. So, those core values help me make decisions. So when an idea comes up in my head or you bring an idea up to me, it's like, all right, is it giving the kids an advantage?
Right.
Is it giving them exposure to new opportunities? Right. Is it impacting their lives in some kind of way?
Right.
You know what I mean? How can we help them understand this from step A to B? Because it has to be simple. And then yes, sir, which is, how can we make this fun?
Right.
And if it runs through those core values, then we'll keep it in our organization and we'll move on it. But if it doesn't, we'll try to find out and make the adjustments. But if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, and I don't allow it in my organization.
So basically, anybody that tries to present something into the organization, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit. Right. Don't try to force it.
Try to work it in there somehow.
Yeah, I try to make it work. But if it doesn't
fit any of those core values,
if it doesn't fit the core values, now I got to go through the whole system. It has to go through the whole system. Like even coming on this interview, your core values match up with mine, so I'm here.
Right.
But I've had people contact me to come on their podcast and on the radio show, and what they're talking about is not what I'm about. Right. So I can't get on there. Right. I'm in the communities. I'm trying to build a brand, and I'm trying to help people build their brands. I can't be on some ratchet, radio show. I can't. Right. I can't. They're going to look at me like, yo, what's wrong with you? You talking to the youth, you over here doing this. That doesn't match up with my brand.
Right.
That doesn't match up with my brand.
And that was a lot of feedback that we got from the last show, that we weren't bringing in everybody, but we still have to stand for something.
Right.
We want to bring in a lot more people, but it still has to match up
to
what we're trying to do with the Voice of Reason for a reason. We're trying to allow people to be their voice in their own voice, but they got to come on this station and be a positive voice in the same breath.
Like you said, it's the Voice of Reason for a reason.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For a reason.
For a reason.
Right. So if that reason ain't within them core values, then sorry. Sorry.
On that note, man, we are coming to an end for my man Les Squair Jr. We appreciate you for being here, Les. If you want to put in some of your tags for people to follow you, any of your information, any email addresses or anything, just give it out to the people real fast. Give a shout out.
Yeah, you can go to Facebook, Les Squair Jr. Inspires, LESSQUAIR Jr. Inspires. You can go on there, and then everything else is on there. Social media, my website, everything is on there. So you can go there, follow me, and
the Did you put out your personal Facebook page for the?
Oh yeah, that's the Les. Oh yeah, Les Squair Jr. is my my personal. The business page is Les Squair Jr. Inspires, and then on Instagram I'm LES_Squire Jr. Squire is spelled SQUAIR. So.
Hey, Les, man, we appreciate you for coming out,
definitely.
man, and showing us some branding into our own show.
Most
'Cause
definitely, 'cause we
I
need
took it
that.
in, man, and I
Most
appreciate
definitely.
you for coming out.
Hey,
man.
not a problem, not a problem.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
You got it, you got it.